about an hour ago, and then 45 minutes ago, and then 30 minutes ago, and then 25 minutes ago, and then 20, etc. And yeah, you can see Kronos is obviously pretty pissed about it too, and for good reason. I mean, he's getting screwed in his lane because the Tempest isn't coming to help. So Tempest, yeah, you can see. I even get a little bit mad about it here, and kind of, well, not necessarily. Yeah, all right, mad, and kind of explain exactly what's going on. He did actually teleport out a little bit ago when he was kind of like right there waiting to set up a gank, and like they basically moved into position and then he teleported out. I don't know if that was visible on the minimap. Um, but still, definitely no excuse. My positioning there was terrible. I just didn't want to run to the right because I was concerned about getting hooked. I figured I would set up an easy angle for Devour to throw a hook on me, and I was trying to do my best to avoid that. But avoiding a hook when you just run into him anyway doesn't really accomplish much. So obviously don't ever let a Devourer get between you and your tower, unless you have some really great plan. So we're just back to the lane now. Fortunately, I have more regen and full health, so I can get back to harassing for a little while. Devourer is actually ganking our woods now, ganking our Tempest. I mean, what can I say? Our Tempest is actually out-leveling our mid. And Tempest actually does manage to kill the Devourer, so apparently his stats build is good for something. But when your Tempest is farming so intensely that they've actually out-leveled both the mids in the game, you know that maybe he's doing something a little wrong. Because he's not, like, I don't know. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, alright, well, anyway, Kraken comes, so we're going to go on them here. Set up a decent cask. Unfortunately, you know, as these things go, it bounces the wrong way. So we're going to keep going on the Soul Reaper here. But then, basically, yeah. So we get the kill on the Soul Reaper, and we should probably stop now. But the Kraken keeps... Oh, never mind. We have a Chrono Assault, so... Works anyway. But then, unfortunately, Pyro comes. And makes things a bit worse. I tried to go heal Kraken there, but it was too far away, and then it didn't really end up mattering anyway. But as you can see, our Tempest is actually just sitting there, jungling, while all this is happening. Yeah. So this gets back to basically my point of why I think 1600 through maybe 1750 or even low 1800 games are basically pretty similar, all of them. I feel like one or two people usually end up ruining the game. And I mean, I understand I'm not playing amazingly, but what he's doing is a bit extreme. I actually ask for a free last hit there so I can buy my boosts, and then fuck it up. I'm not sure if I should drop the F-bomb. Anyway, screw it up. So that was kind of bad on my part, but I do have enough for boots now. We do need new wards, but I really need to get these boots, just because I've kind of been behind on gear. I mean, it's 10 minutes and I don't have boots, and since they have a Devourer, that's kind of a risky proposition. You can see I was actually about to go buy mine, but since Kronos left the lane, there was no reason for me not to take the farm real quick while he was gone. So then I'm going to go and get the boots afterwards. This is just a small thing of being efficient. I mean, I know, you know, you're a support hero. It's not that important, but still, you know, it never hurts. Again, I do need to get to 200 gold so I can buy a new set of wards. So there's no reason to give up just a little bit of free farm when you have the opportunity to get it. So yeah, back to the lane now. Soul Reaper's gone, so I actually can now finally just harass this chipper back the way I would like to. But I mean, I always have to be careful because the Devourer could basically come from the right at any time, or the Pyro could come from straight on. So I throw a cask just to make sure that he isn't able to chase after the Kronos. He stuns me anyway. I guess his plan was never to stun Kronos, which is probably intelligent because Kronos can blink. But yeah, it's just kind of important. You know, anytime that someone's trying to charge the carry you're babysitting, make sure you do everything you can to make sure they don't die. If you have to die for them, that's fine. So anyway, we're asking for a gank top. I have my ultimate, Kronos has his ultimate, which, you know, as I said, is a pretty good combination. So if we can get one more person up here, we can get a gank. So Tempest, it looks like, is actually going to come. So we should have a 3-on-3, which should be a favorable 3-on-3, just because we have good ultimates here between Tempest and mine and Kronos's. So that's basically the plan at this point, and yeah. That's pretty much all there is to it. So we're just going to wait in the jungle here and hope they push up. Tempest moved up a little far, but he should still have vision. So there's two of them right there, so this is basically our opportunity to go. And yeah, so I run up and throw down my ult. Tempest actually cancels his ult there. I'm not sure if it actually got stopped or he cancels it. When I was paying attention at the time, or when I was in the game, I didn't know what was going on, or I wasn't sure that it happened, because I had, I was just paying attention to what I was doing. But there is another time in the game where Tempest definitely cancels Assault, so I wouldn't be surprised that he did it there. I really feel like he caught Chipper in it as well. But no, I don't think he did catch Chipper in it, but I wasn't sure that the angle was possible for Chipper stun. Chipper probably did stun, though. But anyway, so things are not going too well here. Getting genocided at 12 minutes is probably not a good sign. And that really should have been a favorable team fight for us, but it was not. Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate. Things kind of going badly at this point. But we have Kronos on our team, so I mean Predator's a pretty hard carry too, but Kronos I think definitely outcarries Predator. And Predator's better against heroes that are not Kronos. Kronos is pretty strong against Predator. So yeah, anyway, that's the situation right now. I buy a power supply because yeah, we see Tempest finally does Glacial Blast, which is what I was pointing out there. I buy a power supply just because they have a lot of like spammable safe stuff with the Chipper definitely and the Soul Reaper, etc. So, and because I didn't get a Blood Chalice this game, just because my early game kind of got screwed up a little bit, and I couldn't afford the Blood Chalice early, so I just didn't bother getting it. And I figured the power supply would kind of help with mana issues. So I teleport over here because Kraken wants me to go on them. So we're gonna try to set up a gank on these guys. But they back up intelligently, except then blue goes over there. But it doesn't matter. So just kind of playing back, definitely playing, you can see far to the right in the lane, so that I don't get stunned on. Just, yeah, kind of always making sure to shade to the right side so that Pyro doesn't just kind of like walk out of the jungle and stun me, because that would be bad. Even if we do have 2-on-2, there's no reason for you to get initiated on. I'd rather see them first before they can do something. Here I can stay on either side of the lane because we're further back. Surely enough, there's the Pyro, and as soon as he tries to run up, I'm going to stun him. Unfortunately, there were 2 on the other side, so it would have been better to stun them, but it doesn't matter because the stun prevented them from going on us at the tower anyway, and that's really what's important. We're obviously not going to be turning and killing them with a 2-on-3. Even with our ultimates, that still seems like a pretty risky proposition. So we're just kind of hanging out behind the tower here. Tempest died again to the Pudge, or the Devour. Yeah. So again, not the best situation that we're in right now. And yeah, people kind of... Oh yeah. Well, mentioning this isn't even important. Just look at the minimap. I actually run pretty far forward here when we knew that there were 3. So this is kind of a little bit of a mistake, but I mean, we plan on going them anyway. Here's a good situation to set up a cask. And then obviously, you know, crack an ult into my ult, basically the plan. So anytime one of my teammates throws down an ult, I'm basically going to throw down an ult. I generally don't try to take kills, but I was slightly worried that the Predator was going to get away there, so I threw up a Mojo on him, not knowing that the Kraken was about to splash as well. I'm actually going to run back to the base here, so I decide I might as well heal the Kraken up so he can continue to farm. I'm just running back to base because my mana was pretty low, and I need to buy wards and striders, since I now have money for my striders. Tempest is still just farming. I mean, he's really a jungling machine. He's level 11, well, tied for the highest level in the game. Yeah, you can see this is kind of my mission to you guys. This guy, I mean, it's exactly my point, though. I mean, it's kind of one player. I mean, even if he's not doing the worst things in the world, although, I mean, that's debatable, he's definitely not being a team player. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah. I actually don't get wards, I guess, because someone else has bought some, so I just get a TP scroll instead. I have my striders. I could TP up here to go help the Tempest, but I'm close enough that I'm just going to run it anyway. And I think on the inside, I'm kind of hoping he dies a little bit anyway, which is probably not a good situation to ever be in, but whatever. So yeah, Chipper kind of gets caught out from the rest of their team, so I'm going to help the Hag DPS him down. Pretty much always I'm going to use Mojos defensively, but in a situation like that, there wasn't really anyone to Mojo near me. And we weren't really in a team fight, we were just kind of picking someone off. Unfortunately, then there is someone to Mojo, but it's on cooldown, and more unfortunately, my stun's on cooldown. Kronos runs in here and throws down an ult. I guess it's just to help people, but I didn't know that. Pretty much, like I said, anytime one of my teammates throws down an ult, I'm going to throw down my ult. So yeah, definitely not the best move ever on my part. Just kind of miscommunication. Like, yeah, so that's what happened there. It does kind of end up working out alright, because now we're able to pick up a kill. But still, I probably should have just known what it was, but I guess that was kind of just a vision on my screen type of thing, because I could only see the situation that was going on around me, so I didn't know it was going down for the left, so I probably should have glanced over there real quick. If I had, I probably would have seen that my team was backing up rather than moving in. So seeing the Kronos ult, I thought that they were moving in. However, given that they were probably backing up, yeah, etc. Yeah, I see. Well, I started to TP down here because I thought the Predator was going to try to turn and fight. Turns out he's not, so not a big deal. Kind of a waste to teleport, but oh well. I mean, yeah, it's better to teleport and I was thinking of that saying from a movie. Anyway, it's better to teleport and not need it than to not teleport and need it. So, yeah. That's that situation. Now I'm just going to try to farm one more creep kill so I can, yeah, as you saw, I wanted to buy some wards. So now I have enough, and I should probably be buying the wards this second. Well, I was going to, but then the Kraken about went in, so yeah. Just kind of poor reaction time on my part, not buying the wards quickly enough, so then I make sure to do it quickly that time. And he wants to go on the Soul Reaper, but I definitely don't want to dive the tower. This is a fine situation for us to be playing this far forward, because if we look at the mini-map, we can see, well, at least we could just see, we saw the Devourer was mid, yeah, we can still see him, and then 2 top. So they can teleport, but at least then we'll have plenty of time to anticipate it. And they do, sure enough, teleport in here. I throw a defensive mojo rather than an offensive one here, just because I know Kraken's going to be diving the tower, and it seems a lot safer to do that. And surely enough, I think the mojo does help. We hear the Devourer's going bot. I hate when the courier just kind of flies behind you like that. It actually does annoy me. And that could have ended up getting me killed because it took me about another second to make sure I got the wards on myself. I probably shouldn't have worried about it. Should have just kept running and known that the courier was eventually going to catch up with me, but it just kind of drives me crazy. So yeah. General rule of thumb when playing support heroes, obviously, is to try to support your team as much as possible. But I mean, this really does matter for usage of your abilities too. And this gets into, so one thing I think I do well this game, and one thing I think I don't do well this game. The thing I do well is a lot of defensive mojos. Healing teammates as much as possible, always good when you're a support hero. This one thing I don't do as well is, once I finally get Cursed Ground, I don't really use it very much or very effectively. And I mean, I know I'm a support hero, but that's certainly no reason not to use a strong ability that helps. And I mean, you could say, yeah, I want, you know, to make sure I don't steal kills, but it still couldn't hurt to use it occasionally. So anyway, here we're going on the Devourer. There's plenty of people top, so there's no reason not to offensive mojo here. I thought that he would charge the Devourer into the trees there, but for some reason he would charge like 4 seconds too late. So we're actually not going to be able to kill them, and so I just have to throw off a defensive cask, and we run away. So yeah, he probably should have just charged a little bit sooner there. I'm going to make sure to deny his tower. There's really nothing I can do for the Tempest, but I really want to make sure I get that, or nothing I can do for the Kraken. Really want to make sure I get the tower. The stun did come up just in time there, but I was pretty sure that he was dead regardless. Maybe a mistake on my part, but again, my priority there was just denying the tower, which for his death is probably worth it. Yeah, here you can see, again, the Tempest actually just failed to basically do anything for our Chronos up top, so I've kind of had enough. I don't normally add people to my ban list. I think my ban list probably has like 5 people on it. But, well, because normally I feel like people that I would want to ban list or whatever, I would kind of be able to tell that they're that type of person anyway. But this guy, you know, like I said, he was almost 1800, and, you know, like, yeah, basically that's about all there is to it. I teleport in, assuming Chronos will go, but I mean, they just don't get there in time, except for some reason the Pyro runs this way instead of going straight down. Chronos did have enough mana for another leap, so it's possible that that we would have caught up with him anyway. They teleport in, so we're going to go, because Kraken comes, so I'm going to health potion up first, instead of using Mojo, just so that I have Mojo up, because I have the random health potion sitting on me, so no reason not to use it. Do dodge the rocket that time. Devourer's playing forward. It's kind of hard to go on a Devourer, but my team's going to anyway, which I guess seems fine. So yeah, basically this is how all our ultimates work. There's really not much else to say about it. This is just kind of our ultimates working. Yeah. I probably should have stopped my ultimate maybe a second sooner there, so I could have thrown off a cask on the Pyro, but it worked out anyway. So now we're basically back in the game because of one team fight, essentially. And good teamfight ultimates will do this, which is a reason not to get set up into a thing like that. In fact, I'm actually saying to my teammates right now that there's pretty much no chance that they'll let us ult them again like that. I mean, I'm sure they've learned their lesson. It's just kind of probably overconfidence on their part, which does happen. In fact, well, I'll talk about that another time. But yeah, basically, it's very easy, you know, when you're winning by a lot to, I mean, even though they weren't winning by a lot, but they were kind of just, you know, dominating us in the lanes and then ganking, getting kills, etc. To kind of, you know, push forward a little more than you should.